time
All right.
last week.
Welcome back to the Loaded Slate Sports Podcast, boys. I'm Ashton Rodebeck, here with Ryan Chapko and Jack Norman.
What's going on, y'all?
We're here to break down the NFL Divisional round and give you guys some picks for the AFC and NFC Championship games and the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. Does anyone know what number Super Bowl this is going to be? 120?
Way too many, 50-something.
Oh, they're not
What
even
is
at
it?
100?
What is it, like? I don't even know, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
High 50s.
it doesn't matter, but it's going to be good. It's going to be
Yes.
quality television. I wouldn't suggest missing it. Does anyone know what the halftime show is going to be yet? Like, that's the most
I think
important-
Rihanna is the halftime show or something
She's
like
so
that.
old. She's
I know.
like dirt.
I know. That's
dirt
what
practically.
I
Anyway.
think I heard that Rihanna's doing it.
Oh, my God. Like,
I know.
I wouldn't even go to the Super Bowl if that's the halftime show. I mean,
We watch it for the game anyways.
exactly.
So
It's all about the game. We don't
Mhm.
care about that.
don't mess with the commercials or the the halftime.
We're not here
show.
for any of that garbage.
Facts.
But anyway, let's get into the league, guys, because I mean, a bit of a snoozer. Was it just me? Like, it was a bit of a snoozer.
There was
I thought.
There was a couple of good games, but other than that,
There were
I
some
would-
intriguing matchups for sure.
I would argue that there was a good game, and it really wasn't even that good of a game. I don't know.
It was more of a battle of who sucked less,
Yeah,
so to speak.
Yes, pretty much.
But I'll tell you who sucked the most, unfortunately. And it brings me no pleasure to say this, but the Cowboys, they do what the Cowboys are unfortunately known for doing at this point, taking an early exit in the playoffs here, guys. I mean, Mr. Irrelevant lives to see another week here. This is a little unprecedented, really. I mean, the last pick in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, he's leading his team to, 2 playoff wins now. That's pretty good. And
I think the Cowboys are a very, very, very talented team. I think they have a lot of top end talent, but the problem with their roster is they need to situate like their cap space and like how they allocate their resources because Zeke's still a bad contract and they still have a lot of holes to fill. But I thought overall, 2 years with no really defining win in the playoffs, it's very sad down in Dallas right now.
Yeah, you beat a old aging Tom Brady, and then start throwing a party in the streets of Dallas, but then you run into a brick wall led by Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
This 49ers team is ridiculous. The fact that he is thriving in that system,
It's a good system.
It's incredible
It's a good
system.
for a rookie
Incredible.
quarterback
Like
to be.
the 49ers are painting a blueprint for the rest of the league right now on how to successfully execute a rebuild.
Oh, yeah.
Like drafting a quarterback this late in the round, like that late in the draft, and just surrounding him with that much talent just proves,
But But the thing is, like, how often does that hit? Most
I
of
don't
the
know.
time. Most of the
rare.
time, it's
it's
pretty
rare,
rare.
but I don't know, it's working. I don't know for how much longer.
Because
But
at Iowa State, I think he showed flashes at times, but
Not
I
consistent.
Think, yeah.
for sure, definitely not consistent. I don't know. A lot of people are kind of surprised by the way he's been playing, but I don't know. He's been playing solid, I guess. He hasn't been earth-shattering, but he's been consistent. Hasn't turned the ball over a whole lot.
He's not doing anything himself that's too, awe-inspiring or anything crazy. It's just, he's getting the ball to the guys that need the ball.
He's getting the ball to George Kittle.
Yeah,
and,
exactly. Debo and Ayuk.
CMC and those guys.
Yeah.
He's
And
got...
it's a pretty good defense as well. Their defensive line, their
best
defensive
defense in the
front's
league.
really good.
Yeah,
and
I
I just think they're a well-balanced team up front, and I think they have an interesting case to make. But getting past these top-heavy teams, it's going to be a challenge for them. I'd say.
For sure. I wouldn't just go on a limb to say that they have, an elite defense. They have the best defense in the league. So,
Nick Bosa's one of the best pass rushers as well.
Yeah, you got Eric Armstead opposite him and Fred Warner
in the middle,
covering up the middle. Yeah, so this team, they're looking to make a huge splash in the game against the Eagles, which is a perfect transition into the Eagles-Giants game. For sure.
This was a rout, really. The Eagles
Oh,
they really gave the Giants no chance in this game. We thought the Giants could be maybe on this little Cinderella run here, but no, the Eagles shut that down real quick.
Yeah, we all hinted at that, too. We were all, maybe we didn't have the courage to pick the Giants. I think you did, right?
I had the courage to pick the Giants. I don't know. There's nothing necessarily wrong with the Eagles and what they're building, but I was skeptical on a few things because I just thought they were like a really flashy like regular season team like we see some teams break out early in the year, but they've really proved, and I think Jalen Hurts definitely proved he's the quarterback of the future in Philly. I think the weapons that they have, getting A.J. Brown was a steal for that pick that they gave up with the Titans. So I think they're legitimate contenders this year. I think they legitimately have a case, and we should see. Come this playoff.
Definitely. Their defense really answered the challenge. They sacked Danny Dimes here 5 times in this game. They really didn't give the Giants any room to operate here. They held them to 7 points. They ran the ball for over 250 yards, too. It's not too bad at the end of the day. I mean, I really like this Eagles team. I think they're going to be a tough out for sure.
And I think them getting that Nick Sirianni from the Colts was a great pickup. He's a great offensive mind that definitely led the Colts for a couple of years. But I think their GM deserves a lot of credit for how they've been drafting these past couple of years, because I think them getting Jordan Davis to go up the front and the middle, and them getting Nakobe Dean, I think they got two really good players there as well, and I think they're going to keep adding more talent this offseason.
Oh, definitely. They definitely are. I mean, this is huge for them. Huge for the Eagles. I mean, they're making monumental steps in the right direction here.
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts was definitely questioned earlier in the year, but I think he's proven all.
And he's gotten healthy too. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that I think kind of swayed the momentum in this game for sure. Is Jalen Hurts actually playing, to his full healthy ability? We were talking before this game and possibly saying they were on upset watch. That was kind of pending if Jalen Hurts was going to be 100%, and he showed out and played at his 100% strength and balled out.
He did.
Led him to a blowout win.
But where do you think the Giants go from here? Because
That's-
this offseason for them, Saquon's not getting this extension. He's not signing the extension. Danny Dimes, he did throw 5 picks in the regular season. Like, he definitely had probably
year.
his best season he had in the league yet. So, I mean, I don't know if Danny Dimes is still their quarterback that they're going to trot out next year, but I think they shouldn't hold their head. That's the first year of Brian DeBull, and I think Kayvon Thibodeau next year is going to be a weapon for
Yeah, I
them.
wanted to talk about the Eagles' defense, actually, because they got a lot of studs on defense. I mean, Kayvon, you mentioned him. I mean, they got Julian Love, Xavier McKinney, like so many different guys. I mean, they're going to be returning a lot of guys on this defense. Dexter Lawrence, another guy, too. I mean, I think offensively for them, that's going to be like the biggest.
You got to get weapons.
Yeah.
You got to get
I
weapons.
mean, Darius Slayton ain't going to cut it at the end of the day, especially if
And Kenny
Saquon Barkley
Galladay.
walks. And Galladay's got to play, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I agree. I think there are a few pieces on offense away from really contending, and I think they can do that with Danny Dimes.
I think they
at the
can,
helm.
too.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a hell of ability to run the ball, which is kind of an underrated trait.
Yeah,
of
he's
his.
really
He's
shown,
mobile,
Shown the
sneaky.
last couple of weeks really that he can move in the pocket. He can make plays happen with his legs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We didn't really see that a ton out of him coming out of college at Duke. We didn't really. He was more of a pro style pocket passer. But he's showing the ability to be mobile, and that's huge for them and their offense.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't believe the Giants were going to be here at the start of the year because they were kind of a team that I felt like had the playoffs in potential, but I was never really sure. But I think, honestly, a good promising first year for them. I think it's a step in the right direction.
It definitely is.
Most definitely, yeah.
Their record over the last decade has not been too kind to them.
For sure.
It's been a tough couple of years for the Giants, but this is a great step in the right direction in terms of their rebuild, for sure.
Definitely. What should we hit next?
Man, we got to talk about the Bengals.
Yeah, most
Gotta
definitely.
talk the
We
Bengals.
got to talk the Bengals.
Do we save that one for last and hit the Jags and Chiefs, or do we do?
Jags, Chiefs.
Yeah, let's do Jags Chiefs.
Okay.
We'll save that one for last because we got
So
a
the
lot
Jags Chiefs was probably the best game of this NFL weekend. I thought the Jags showed a lot of promise, but the Chiefs have just been shown what they've been building over the last couple of years. They just got the best offense in the league, just all the weapons in the world, even with losing Tyreek last year. But overall, it was a great game, and I thought the Jags showed a lot of promise.
Yeah, most definitely. Trevor Lawrence is a dog. He's coming out there and proving all the doubters wrong. Year 2 of him, it's practically his rookie year considering his first was spent with an abysmal coach and just the team was horrible. So, the leaps he's taking under Doug Peterson are monumental. And not just him, it's the entire team, man. The schemes that Doug Peterson has implemented in Jacksonville, it's going to win them a lot of games, and they have budding young talent on that team.
Yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, they're emerging stars in this league. I think we're going to see those guys. They're going to be, names that we're going to remember for a long time. Because, I mean, these guys, I think they're in their second season only.
Yeah,
I mean,
both of them.
They're doing amazing things right now. And, I mean, this Jags team just has so many weapons, and they don't even have Calvin Ridley yet. And I think when they get Calvin Ridley next season, they can really make that next step into that, elite tier of teams.
Those are some good weapons. I mean, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, and ETN in the backfield.
And James Robinson.
And yes. So that's a team, and they have a respectable defense as well. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I think that AFC South could be Jacksonville's division next year for sure, back to back.
It's one of the weakest divisions in football.
Yes.
Really
I think the Jags, the ability to be in the same division as the Texans, the Colts, and the Titans, I think the Titans are on the little shelf life of what they are. They definitely need to improve, but I think the Jags have the most promising roster in the AFC South. I think just bolstering the D-line and bolstering the offensive line is what they need to do and keep getting weapons in the secondary.
Definitely. You want to keep Trevor Lawrence, protected back there. Yeah, I want to talk about the Chiefs again. I mean, Kelsey, he showed again why, he's one of the best tight ends in the league. I mean, 14 catches we were talking, right? 100 yards almost. I mean,
Probably the most
That's
consistent
crazy.
tight end in the league.
they are. I mean, are the Chiefs, like, where do they rank after this, guys? Are they the Super Bowl favorites right now? Like, are they one of the top 2 teams right now heading into the final couple weeks?
See, I like what the Chiefs did this offseason and adding the defense. But I don't know. It's going to be a tough call. Them being at home is definitely going to give them a good bolster this weekend. I think they got revenge on their mind with the Bengals coming into town.
Yeah, I do think the Chiefs will be the favorite out of the AFC. I just don't know if either of the the NFC teams are gonna not be favored against that team, man. Those 2 teams have been dominant all season. The Eagles, best record in the league, and the 49ers are clearly doing something right, being led by Mr. Irrelevant and all. So, I don't know, man. I like this Chiefs team. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes' health is just huge when it comes to this conversation, but he balled out in this past game, and I don't know. I think they'll be a favorite going into the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, like you said, it all depends on Patrick Mahomes' health. I mean, if he's 100%, that's huge for them. I mean, that could maybe push them over the top here, but I mean, there's a couple other good teams here still alive. I mean, we got another game to touch on here too, where we got some thoughts there. You guys got any final thoughts on?
I just thought Kansas City. I think after last season, it kind of ended in where they didn't want to be. But I think them getting rid of Tyreek and them reading the situation, I thought they did a really good job at getting some quality weapons for Patrick Mahomes in a quick turnaround in the offseason. I thought them banking on Juju, them just banking on Kadarius Toney. I think those little chances that they took, it definitely helped them get back to where they needed to be.
It did. Juju was a huge addition for them.
Yeah. And Tony, yep.
And McCole Hardman is still a good weapon.
Yeah, he's still
well.
solid too. He's emerging.
For sure. Yeah, last game of the slate, the loaded ass slate that, kind of was a little bit of a sleeper. We got the Bengals 27, Bills 10. Bengals came into this game and just absolutely dominated in all 3 facets of the game. The Bills were struggling to get anything done on offense, and Joe Shiesty was just slinging that thing on their defense. Joe Mixon too. Joe Mixon had several huge runs in this game that really busted that that Bills defense open and led to scoring drives. So, yeah, I mean, there really isn't much more to say. But
is Jamar Chase the best wide receiver in the league?
No,
not yet. But I think legitimately him and Burrow have one of the best combos in the league.
Yeah, best connections,
yes.
for sure.
So I think that is going to carry the Bengals for years to come. I really just like how their team's laid out, because I think the fact that T. Higgins is potentially your wide receiver 3 at times, you're in a very good spot offensively with great weapons. But I think their defense improved a lot this year, actually.
Yeah.
Because last year, that was the downfall, I think, of the team, or just mainly their secondary with Eli Apple and stuff.
Yeah,
so
their O-line, too, was abysmal last year.
And they invested a lot of resources and assets into the O-line. So.
Yes, so they've done it right. They went to the Super Bowl and improved. So I think that I don't know. I saw this coming. I don't know. I like the Bengals. I don't know what else to say.
I do too. I mean, this is a team. I mean, they, like we were talking about on our previous episodes. I mean, this is a team that has that Super Bowl experience. They've been there before. They know what it takes to get there. And I think that's proving. I mean, the Bills, they don't have that experience. They've never made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, I think that kind of showed you. I mean, the Bengals, they were just a more seasoned team, really.
Yeah.
And I think for the Bills, there's a lot of questions to be asked here. I mean, this is like the 4th year in a row here where they have not reached their final goal. I mean, I don't really know where they go, because, I mean, their hands are kind of tied in terms of assets here. I mean, they kind of have all their eggs in this basket right here, and I don't know.
I mean, there's some, unsettled, I don't really know how to describe it. There's some, unsettling mood in the locker room at the moment too. Obviously, we've seen Stephon Diggs voice his concern with
been on
this
Twitter
game.
all last.
So I mean, turmoil in the locker room is the last thing this team needs. Obviously, you mentioned that their assets are kind of their eggs are in the basket at the moment. So it's Super Bowl or bust 2 years ago for this team at this point. And in this game, for me watching this game, it just kind of seemed like the reason they couldn't get it done is because Josh Allen can't do everything. He's not playing defense.
I think really what they need to really improve on is I think they need to get a better run game this offseason.
Yes.
Because I think honestly, I like their weapons, but I think Gabriel Davis at times has looked very inconsistent.
He had a good game though. I mean, he made a few good catches, but
this
I
year,
agree.
He's had a very inconsistent year. I think the Bills, them getting Von Miller was a risky move with this age, but I thought they wanted to go all in, and I thought they were probably presumably the favorites early on in the year and carrying on for
Preseason.
most of the year in the preseason. So I think it's not all on Josh Allen. I think, but they got a lot of stuff to figure out. There's a lot of free agents on the team. They got a lot of money. They're really tied up. So I don't think they got a lot of work cut out for them.
Yeah, I mean, they got to find a way to improve their backfield. I mean, Devin Singletary and James Cook, they're fine players. I mean, they're not difference makers, though, when it comes to this. I mean, the two guys combined for 11 carries in this game. They've kind of gone to like an air raid sort of offense here. I mean, they don't really have much of a running game, and I think you got to have some sort of running game in order to win a Super Bowl.
I would love, honestly, an NFL draft prospect. I would love to see. I would love Bijan Robinson to go to those Bills
That'd be a nice
team because I think with his athleticism, his ability to work in both the pass game and the run game, I think he would add a new dimension to this offense.
He
I
would.
was just about to say, I think this team kind of became complacent and a little bit one-dimensional toward the stretch. That's pretty much it. Their run game wasn't great, and it wasn't enough to propel them past the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, Stephon Diggs, he had 35 total yards receiving. I mean, that's not going to get it done in this kind of game. I thought he's supposed to be one of the best receivers in the league here. I mean, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's ridiculous.
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see how his future...
We always see him after the game, watching the trophy celebration. I mean, this is 3 years in a row now where he's watching the trophy celebration. I mean,
right.
That's tough.
Right.
That's tough.
We'll see if he asks for a trade. I'd be very surprised if he did, but I don't know. Players want to win. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, the Bills, they've got a lot of receiving talent, though. I mean, they got Knox. I like Dawson Knox. He's one of the better tight ends in the league. I mean, Gabe Davis, like you're talking about, he's really coming into his own.
I like their coach. I like their coach. I don't think it's necessarily like an indictment on their coach as much. Like, I think McDermott is like good, and I think he's a
solid coach for sure.
Solid coach, but I just think the Bengals were just hot at the right time, and I just think they just ran into a very red hot.
This is like I don't know. It's not a great draw here for the Bills, really, but I mean,
Bengals have been peaking toward the end of the season and now coming into the playoffs. So I'm very
optimistic. The Bills had a couple very close games this year that they were able to get and squeak out, but I'm very interested to see where the Bills go. And the Bengals, I just think this is just the beginning.
It is just the beginning for them. I mean,
and it was a franchise, the Bengals, that just haven't had a good run in the last 20 years up until Joe Burrow came into town. So
it really turned it around.
They're hoping to change the culture.
And they were taking a lot of slack for drafting Jamar over Penny Sewell in the first round, but I think looking back, it was the right pick.
They gambled and it paid off for sure. Well, anyways, that sets up the AFC and NFC championship game, guys. I repeat, Eagles, 49ers, NFC championship game. Who do you guys got in that one?
I'm going to roll with the Eagles. I'm going to roll with the hot team. I just think the young talent they got across the board and the lockdown corners and Bradbury and Darius Slay, I just think it's too much to handle for the 49ers, who had a great season, but I think it ends here for the 49ers.
I mean, I've been calling for the 49ers season to end for the last 2 weeks now. So the third time's a charm, right? I mean, the Eagles, I think I sound like a broken record here with the amount of times I've said this, but I mean, I think the Mr. Irrelevant thing, I think it's going to come to a screeching halt here. I think this Eagles team is just a class above here, the Cowboys and the Seahawks. I mean, I think this Eagles team, they got some firepower. They really do. And I don't know. I like the Eagles in this game. I like them to cover the 2.5-point spread, too.
I agree. I'm taking the Eagles here. Clean sweep across the board. Same reasons, honestly. I think this, Brock Purdy's success in this postseason isn't necessarily sustainable for the long run going into the Super Bowl. Mind you, it's impressive, but I think Jalen Hurts and, Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are just tough. They're just freaks. And I don't know if, San Fran has the corners to cover them.
Yeah, I don't know if they have enough firepower offensively to keep up. If they're going to get into this shootout kind of game, if they're going to be able to keep up.
I do think it's going to be a really good game, though, and I do think it's not going to be like your traditional blowout. But
no, it's not. It's going to be close, I think.
I think the 49ers defense will definitely keep the Eagles in check a little bit early on, but I think the Eagles, just the speed with their receivers and just the power over the middle, I just think
they'll pull away late.
This game's being played at the Link, correct? Lincoln Financial Field.
Correct.
Yep. That's going to be a huge factor as well.
It's going to be rocking.
Yep. Philly is a very hostile environment.
And, we know how those fans are.
And that's no better place for the Mr. Irrelevant stuff to come to a screeching halt.
I agree. And I mean, we have two great matchups here. I didn't really realize how great these two matchups are going to be. But, then the next game, the Bengals-Chiefs, this could be like a Super Bowl game, with the amount of firepower that's on the field here. This has the potential to be one of the best games of the season.
And I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna play. I think people are tripping. I think he'll be ready to go. I mean, Tua could get 3 concussions. They'll put him back out on the field. So God damn it, they're gonna put out fucking Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, it's gonna take.
Yeah, he would play with like a broken arm and 2 broken legs. He's playing no matter what.
So. No, he's not gonna. If he can play, he's gonna play. I mean,
Yes.
unless he physically can't move, then that's the only reason he won't play.
Yeah.
But
I'm on the fence of this pick, but
I mean,
I
the
definitely think I'm leaning one way.
Bengals favored by
but
1.5.
The Bengals.
A little interesting.
Vegas,
A little interesting. The
Vegas.
game's at Arrowhead too.
I'll make my pick right now, and I have no shame in saying this. The Bengals are winning this game. The Bengals are going to go into Arrowhead, and they're going to win for a second consecutive year in this game. And, Joe Burrow is really about to, put the NFL world on blast, to be honest. I mean, if he hasn't already.
I think I'm gonna go Chiefs. I think with revenge on the Chiefs' mind, and I thought the Chiefs definitely improved their defense over the last year. That was definitely one of the questions these past couple years. Can they defend and not just have this very flashy outscore your defense type of team? But I think the revenge on their mind. I think everyone talking about Joe Burrow, but they need to realize Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the National Football League, and I think he'll be ready to play, and I think he'll prove to you why he deserves to be in the Super Bowl again.
Man, this is such a hard game to predict because I really could go both ways with this. I could make a great case for both teams, but I don't know. I just think the revenge factor plays a huge key in games like this, especially because I know Pat Mahomes, he doesn't want to lose at home to this Bengals team again. The second year in a row. I think that the revenge is going to play a huge factor, and I think this is an improved Chiefs team. But at the same time,
it's 2 teams that's been there before.
Yeah, this Bengals team is also very well
is.
improved, though. And, I mean, I don't know. This is going to be a great game. If I have to pick one, I'm picking the Chiefs just slightly, but I mean, I would not be shocked to see either team win this game.
I'm alone in this corner again.
And I mean, I don't know. I want to go over that with you, but
I could go
with
2.
I just need to say, I think and I feel like truly deep down that the Bengals are the more well-rounded team. I feel like their defense is better than the Chiefs' defense. I feel like
Arrowhead's one of the hardest places to play.
That's true. We're not going to forget that.
I want to give the home field advantage or the slight edge. I think that'll be the slight edge.
I gave home field advantage in the other game. So
I'm surprised that the lines came out firing for the Bengals. I mean, it's not too surprising, but I thought they would have been a little generous. But
yeah, especially considering the Chiefs are at home too.
Yeah.
I'm a little kind of head scratch. I scratch my head a little bit here at the spread, but I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, we could sit here and talk about Patrick Mahomes and his status all day, but I mean, it's a little.
Maybe Vegas knows something about Mahomes' status with that spread there. I mean,
I'm treading on the side of caution when it comes to that pick, even though I'm really not because I've been high on the Bengals for as long as we've been recording this podcast, so I'm going to stick with that.
Exactly. There's so many factors that could change my pick here, but if
Yeah,
Mahomes is 100%, I like the Chiefs in this game, and especially being at home. But we'll see.
All right, so you guys are saying Chiefs versus Eagles, and I'm saying Bengals versus Eagles. We'll revisit this.
It's going to be
very
a good Super
soon.
Bowl. It's going to be a great Super Bowl.
Very soon. But yeah, that was the the divisional round slate. Our takeaways and predictions for the AFC and NFC championship game. Like you mentioned, these are some just incredible matchups. This is going to make for must-see TV.
Exactly.
For sure.
Usually there's some garbage team that makes it this far into playoffs.
Yeah.
And then we got 4 of the best teams in the league right now. I mean, this is awesome. This is what we want to see every single season right here. It's awesome. We're going to have a great Super Bowl. We're going to have a great matchups this weekend too. I mean, it's just going to be awesome down the stretch here, heading into the Super Bowl weekend.
Do you guys have any closing thoughts or like best performers of the weekend that you guys wanted to mention?
I definitely think the Chiefs. I think just their young guys. I think one of their young guys is going to break out, whether it be Sky Moore or Pacheco. I think Pacheco, this whole year, has definitely proven to be a very underrated pickup for them. And I think with him, I think he's going to have a pretty good game. I think Pacheco's on the rise.
For sure.
For sure. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Debo has potential to have a really good. Debo's definitely had a pretty good year, and a lot of people were skeptical if they were calling him a top 5 receiver, but he's just a playmaker from everywhere. I think he'll have another big game.
Yeah. I'm calling Jamar Chase's number this weekend. He had a solid game against the Bills, but I think that he's gonna explode in this next game for a massive game.
I think we're gonna see an A.J. Brown performance. I think we're going to see an A.J. Brown performance this weekend. I don't know. I just got a feeling about it. I mean, he had a quiet game against the Giants, so I don't know. I think we'll see some production from him for sure.
Yeah. Well,
I like that.
Yeah. Wait, you took receiver too? Or who'd you take again? I forget.
Receiver 2.
No, like, who'd you take? I forget what you said.
Right?
You didn't take Jamar.
You said Pacheco.
Okay.
I said Pacheco. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say that we all took receivers, but you took a running back. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we got plenty of young talent going to face off this weekend, and I'm excited to watch it.
Oh, I'm excited too. I might have to DVR the games. It's going to be that good.
Yeah, for real. Eyes are going to be glued to the TV.
Yeah, they are.
Anything else?
I just think this NFL offseason is going to be pretty intriguing, like it usually is. But I think the Pro Bowl, don't tune into that. It's always a joke. Make sure you're watching an educational program instead of watching that garbage.
This is the educational program.
Hey, make sure you're watching Loaded Slate Sports Podcast.
Hey, make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. And tell your friends.
And make sure you eat while you're watching us, too, because, you got to feed a lot of stomachs, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, y'all got to be watching this instead of the Pro Bowl. That shit whack. We are delivering the news of the week to you guys. And, you don't want to miss our episodes coming out, man. We're producing bangers out here.
Every day. I mean, we're gonna have a lot more content coming down the line.
Are we doing a Super Bowl watch party? I think the people want to know.
We gotta do a Super Bowl live
something
reaction.
like that. Yeah, for sure.
Follow us on the gram. Follow us on Twitter. Our handles are right there. We're gonna drop our handles down below. So follow us. Feel free to tune in, share this with your friends and family, and boys, it's been a pleasure. This has been Loaded Slate Sports Podcast.
It has.